Hello and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever the time zone might be. Welcome to day 2 of the Fibromyalgia Recovery Workshop, where the goal is to learn to live a low to no pain life. Today, we're going to follow through with what we started discussing yesterday of MEPS. And just to do a quick overview, MEPS is mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. Now, this is very key important that we remember the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual, because those all aspects touch on the pains and the challenges with regards to fibromyalgia. Now, this is just a 4-quadrant part because it does go in deeper. Okay, so today we're going to discuss what I define as PAM, which is prayer, affirmations, and meditation. Now, you might ask me, well, how does that connect together? It's actually got everything to connect together, because if you don't have a time for relaxation, a time for meditation, a time for you to just take it easy, your body's not going to take it easy. So, without further ado, I'm going to go back a little bit and do a quick review, because yesterday we talked about skills and strengths. And what I want you to really pay attention to is to define those skills and strengths, how you could use those to strengthen your life and in work. Underneath the strength, what is that? And that you could turn into an opportunity, and taking that and making a difference in your life. Now, I have a workbook, but you have to make an appointment to get it. And the appointment is no charge whatsoever. I just want to be able to talk with you and to see how things are going. Okay. And see if I can help you in any way, shape, or form. So the whole thing is that you put on paper your strengths. Okay. And then the personal qualities that you like most about yourself in those strengths. And then list 3 ways you can enhance them in your life. Now, I'm going to give you an example real quick, because that's how I work. Okay, so crafting. I'm good at crafting. It is a skill, it's a strength, it's positive. Now, I was told I could do something with it. I could go all sorts of avenues. And I thought, yeah, right. It's something that I just do, there's nothing in it, but yet all over the internet, there is crafting this or doing that or craft fairs. I don't have the strength to do craft fair, and I do not know of any people with fibromyalgia who can successfully do something like that without having massive pain afterward. And we'll cover that part tomorrow. But basically, it's just acknowledging that it's not going to be possible. And that's acknowledging a skill, a strength, but how can I enhance it? Okay. And how I learned that I can enhance it is by sharing with others on a limited basis. Sharing by selling the product online. That way I don't have to deal with a fair. And doing crafting and teaching others, either in person or out online, and doing videos about it. And I have done all of this. I've actually conducted classes in person locally, and it worked okay, but it could have been better. And online, it really worked better because I could stop whenever I needed to. And those are things that need to be aware of. Okay, that's 3 examples to do with the strength and a skill. And yes, your strength and your skill can be one and the same, because sometimes your strength, though, is not a true skill. Like you might have a strength of being able to pray. Well, you have the prayer skill and it's a strength, but is it really adaptable into everyday living? And the answer could be yes, but most likely not. But we'll discuss that here in a few minutes. So the question at that point of defining the skills and the strengths is, how does it make you stand out from others? Like, I also have a skill with language. It's not exactly a strength because I'm really weak at them. But in a pinch, I can actually help people out, and I really do understand. But there's also an aspect of trauma and stress in it. So it's not actually necessarily the best thing. So see, there's the contrast of, okay. But what I did understand from that is that I could create children's things. I could do basics, like creations for basics of different languages, and help them to learn just the basics and not have any issues. So that's something that's an example for you of, okay, it's a skill, but is it a strength? Okay, you have a strength, but is it a true skill? You've got to have them both together, cohesive, so that your body can actually take them in and be at peace. So through deciding all of your strengths and all of your skills, what is your greatest strength out of all of them? And then how does it affect you? Does it stress you out, even though it's a strength? Because sometimes that's true. Sometimes your strengths can stress you out. I mean, if somebody's good at customer service, oh my goodness, that can be one of the most stressful things out there. Trust me, been here, done this. Customer service can actually traumatize your nerves and cause you to have issues and cause you to have a fibro flare. And having to stand up all day long doing work. And this is like in stores, in hospitals, in any public place. If you have to stand up for a long duration of time, I'm telling you right now, you're going to have fibro flares. You're going to have issues. It is what it is. Doesn't mean it's always going to happen. No. But this again is something we'll discuss here in a bit. About being aware of your limitations, being aware of these things. And part of that will be discussed tomorrow. But I just wanted to let you know that, being aware of your skills, your strengths, and how to work it and how to really take it all in and be at peace is a good thing. Okay? So, going with that, I do have these little notes just so that I can make sure that I get everything here correctly. Now, once you do all these skills, once you do all of these strengths, you might find that you have challenges. Now, challenges are kind of like underneath struggles. Challenges and struggles can almost be like one equals the other. Sucks, but it's true. So, anyhow, what I'm going to ask you to do, and you do not have to do this, but taking awareness check of your challenges. Like maybe you have a challenge with family members. Maybe you have a challenge with a certain situation. Maybe you have a challenge with yourself, and acknowledging and accepting. Once you acknowledge these challenges, then you want to turn around and figure out, okay, how am I going to manage this? Now, you could almost call these challenges to be triggers or stressors, okay? And I don't like to use triggers or stressors because those are actually kind of, they kind of bring up negative vibe, in my opinion. So I'm using challenges because that could be a trigger, but it's not. It's truly just a challenge, okay? Now, triggers can also be traumatic, and that's usually where you go with triggers, especially with PTSD. And PTSD and fibromyalgia tend to go together. They really do. They tend to go together. So being aware of that. In this particular case, I'm discussing challenges that are basic, that don't go into massive triggers. So The whole point here is, okay, I have challenges here. Like, for an example, my family is a massive challenge for me. I actually live in the room that I grew up in, and I have a massive background on it. I end up going from 2017, boom, boom, boom. And from a 2-bedroom apartment back to the place that I grew up in. I was in this room back in high school. So it's been quite an event. This is a challenge for me. It's also a trigger, but it's a challenge more. Okay. Is there trauma behind it? Yeah, there is. But this is a challenge. So my strategy to deal with this is to be able to clear everything out and that's my actions. I want to clear everything out and reset myself. And how I do this is just by taking one step at a time, making a list, making a test list. Okay, how am I going to handle this? I'm going to stay calm. I'm going to work things out. And sometimes you have to decide, is it you or is it the situation that has control? Because if it's a situation, you may have to walk away. Okay, that's a challenge in itself. Okay, these situations that we have, deciding, okay, do I want to be there? Do I want to walk away? Just an idea. Okay, so if there's a need for help with determining this, challenges and how to deal with them using different strategies, feel free to reach out to me. My information is in the descriptions area. Okay, and I'll be happy to help you out. You just need to let me know that you could use some help. So that's challenges, ways to deal with it, and what actions you're going to take to deal with them. Is it going to be easy? No. It takes time. Trust me. I've had to do it myself. So this gets to the point of dealing with what I call PAM, or prayers, affirmations, and meditation. Now, you might be asking me, what did those have to do with fibromyalgia and the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual aspect? I'm going to tell you something. Please don't get upset. They have everything to do with MEPS. PAM and MEPS go together. Now, if you don't know how to pray, that's fine. You just, Lord, help me, guide me, teach me, show me. Just simple. Very, very simple. Or, Lord, heal me, help me through this pain, show me what I need to do. Simple basics. I'm innocent and I don't understand the situation, and I ask for your help and your guidance to teach me and show me. Take away this pain, take away this fatigue, show me what I need to do so that I might be restored and be able to do the things that I'm to do here. Amen. And that's several different prayers all in one, but end it with amen. Amen is translated to let it be. Let it be so. So, affirmations. Now, my mom, this is something that I am so grateful to my mom for, because we grew up, and this house that I'm in was everywhere on the walls was affirmations, complete affirmations. I'm going to give you, there's what some people call the I am statements. Well, I am statements are also a form of affirmations. Doesn't mean they're complete affirmations, no. But that's, the I ams are affirmation formats. I am special, I am worthy, I am loved. Those are all affirmations. Okay? Something that I I really like as an explanation is, I don't know for if you're listening from out of the States, you might not know this, but like Nike's Just Do It. You can do this. You are you are worth everything and more. Giving you ideas here. And what I did was write out a line, like line paper, and write out your affirmations. My challenge is to write 3. But I'd like you to start with one major one that you remember growing up with, or that you have on your own. And then I want you to define how it helps you. How does this affirmation help you? And if it doesn't help you, let's create a new one. Okay? It is so important when you have an affirmation that it be positive. Affirmations and mantras, all of them need to be positive, or your body's going to take in all this negative energy and you're going to go, I don't feel good. I hurt. You're right. You do. Partially because you're feeding it into you. Now, I hurt. I'm in pain. Affirmations, mantras, one aspect of it. Now, don't get me wrong here, because that is a big part of it. There's another part of it that is not touched on. That is physically proven medical issues. It is proven that heart issues, that stomach issues, intestinal issues, back issues, mental health issues can also cause fibromyalgia. Fibromyalgia does not cause them. They cause fibromyalgia because your body doesn't know how to respond to these stressors that are in your body. So they automatically bring it out, thus called a syndrome. Okay, so it's a matter of, we need to find the affirmations, the mantras that are positive and uplifting and growth and help the mindset, because that's the only way you're going to keep fighting all of these issues, because fibromyalgia is one aspect. You can also use prayer to pray through all those health issues, and that includes the fibromyalgia. Just pray through them. And that doesn't mean they're going to be not going to be painful. That doesn't mean that they're not going to be debilitating. That does not mean that they're not going to cause you fatigue or anything like that. That is when you pray the most. It is biblical to pray incessantly, to pray through all things, good and bad. In fact, more so when it's bad. Why, you ask? Because God said so. And God's an amazing man. He loves every one of us. And I am not going to apologize for getting all spiritual on this, because I promise, I said one of my groups is hope-based and the other one is faith-based and God-based. And I'm ordained minister, so you're going to get it a little bit. But I'm not going to go preachy, okay? That is about the best that I can do. Prayer is so important, and prayer is in every religious creed that I am aware of. Okay. I could be wrong, because I don't know all of the religions, and I did not go to theology school, and I didn't ever intend to go to theology school. I want to go to missions, and I have done missions into foreign countries, but no, not my cup of tea. Anyhow, talking about prayer, because I was praying about this counseling thing that I mentioned yesterday, and I actually spoke with my counselor, and when she heard what I said, she suggested I become licensed as a particular type of counselor that doesn't require the 4 years of study, but helps me to be able to do what I'm doing and further enhances my ability to help you and to help anybody who reaches out to me. and even in the clinic that they're at, because, and it might be an answer to prayer, because I've been praying about this a lot. There's a shortage of medical professionals. There's a shortage of counselors. There's a shortage in the north and all over the United States of health providers, which is why it takes so long to see many doctors, medical professionals, and counselors. They're so short-staffed. And I told her I want to help. Because as a counselor, the form that she's talking about for me, I don't have to go and get any shots because I can do it all virtually. And I'm like, yes, count me in. So we're getting training on that. So there's a nice little prayer answered. I told you guys I didn't feel right about doing counseling, but when she defined the kind that I've already been borderline doing, she said, let's get you certified. Let's get you the documentation so you don't get in trouble. I'm like, yeah, it works. So that was a challenge for me. A big challenge was that I was touching on this subject matter of counsel and help. And I'm a certified life coach, yes, but I'm headed into that region that is gray matter. And she wants to help me to make sure that I go into the gray matter feeling a lot more secure and so there's my taking action and my strategy and getting it fulfilled. And it'll take a little bit, but it doesn't take 4 years. So I'm like really excited about it. I'm going to have to keep updates with people because I haven't really shared it too much. Anyhow, so that gives a prayer answer. And, as a child, we're taught sometimes to pray. I don't know if you were taught to pray, but many people are taught to pray. So if you were taught to pray, did you have a favorite prayer? And if you did, write it down. And did you have a prayer time as a child? If you didn't, it's okay. It's just something to be aware of, because that can be a sign that you're having challenges, because prayer and meditation kind of go hand in hand and they go together so nicely, because meditation is just a time out from everything. You don't even need to say anything, just a time out to just think on things. In fact, it's biblical to think on these things, but they give us specific items to think on. And I'm not going to get spiritual on that, but it is think on these things. But what I found is that thinking on these daily activities, thinking on the actions I've taken, could I have handled things differently? And if so, how? And by doing this, it's actually helped me to kind of make adjustments in my day-to-day thinking. So here's my challenge to you with the mindset part. I want you to think about the kind of mindset do you have? Do you have one where you think about it and then you drop it? Do you think about it, try to learn? And I'm talking mindset about your thoughts for just start with small stuff. Because if you go into big stuff, which I've done this before, guilty, going thinking about this thing, that thing, the other thing yesterday, which you can't fix, so you leave it alone. You think about today and what happened today and get it done. That way you don't go backwards, or at least attempt not to go backwards, because the more you go backwards, you cause additional stresses. Don't want to do that. The whole goal through this whole process is to release the stress, to release the fog, to release the energies that are causing you to be bogged down. That is the whole goal of this, okay? Because that's part of what's causing the fibromyalgia challenges. Now, there's a part that I will not touch that does cause fibromyalgia, and I won't touch it because I'm not licensed to do so. And I will fervently say so in this aspect, and that is called PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder. Some of the stresses I can kind of help with, and hopefully after this training I'll be able to help even more. But Others I won't be able to touch. I'm just going to be open and honest. Those traumas can cause so much buildup in the body and cause so much nerve overwhelm, sensitivity overwhelm. And yes, there's a sensitivity. I was addressed this about foods and about sensitivities. And the answer is, with fibromyalgia, you most definitely can have food sensitivities. Most definitely. They go hand in hand. Also, if you happen to hear this before Friday, I go live Friday mornings, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, to answer questions about fibromyalgia and related health issues like chronic pain, chronic fatigue syndrome, and how they relate with other things. And that could be life matters, that can be spiritual matters, that can be work matters, because a lot of work issues can actually cause problems, anything. So I'm just giving that a heads up and out kind of thing. To please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to answer those questions and issues. And I am so stinking proud of myself. I gave up on the tech stuff because I'm just not that technical. I have to work on that part, and I may actually hire somebody to help me with it. And I gave up on the workbook because I cannot connect it to these videos. So I'm looking at doing Facebook Live. So if you're on Facebook, please feel free to check me out. The links are in the description. I made sure of it before I started this. Feel free to reach out to me via email. Ask any questions you might want to ask. Ask for the workbook. I'll be happy to send it to you. No questions asked, completely free. And if you want to have a connection time where you ask questions, or you want to talk more about this fibromyalgia syndrome and how it affects us in life, and maybe how it affects you and how you could get some help, feel free to make an appointment with me. I give free 15-minute calls, and that's not a problem. And the link is in the description. So if this has helped you in any way, go ahead. Another way to help with this for free, no obligations to you whatsoever, hit the like button and hit the subscribe button if you aren't already subscribed. So until tomorrow, I love talking with you today about prayer, affirmations, and meditation. You take care until tomorrow. Bye-bye.